Hi everybody, my name is Eli.
I'm Jason.
I'm Caden.
I'm Jaden.
We're the Yahoo and the Torah YouTube channel.
And we thank you guys very, very much for hanging out with us. Our family is your family. Your family is our family. And we truly love you guys very, very much. And so we are into the reading of Messiah Yahushua. And we are on verse 26, gentlemen, of this. And how you guys doing?
Good.
Everyone are live?
Yep.
It's barely 6 o'clock here. It's a little after 6. You guys good? You
Yeah.
You gonna stay awake with me? Yep. That's good. All right, let's continue on. Let's listen, and I would love to have your guys' input on all of this. 26. Then Yahudah asked concerning the coming of the rule of Elohim, and Yahushua answered, "It is like this: a man scatters seed on the ground. Day follows day until the grain sprouts and grows. But what goes on in the ground to bring this about is beyond his knowledge. The soil produces the crop by its own methods, nourishing the crop until it ripens. When the corn is ripe at harvesting time, the man reaps and gathers in." Yahushua then said, "To know the nature of the rule of Elohim is important, but difficult for me to explain to your understanding. It is like the small seed which once planted shoots up into a great plant, providing shade for many forms of life. These are able to see and know both the seed and the plant, but have no knowledge how one became the other."
So the first part, he talks about what happens in the soil. We don't really know what happens. We plant a seed and we hope it grows up, and when it does, we're all rejoice. But we don't know exactly what goes on in there. We've never seen it before, so
Yeah,
and we can't explain it because we don't know what happens. So that's what Yehoshua said. He goes, "You don't know the rule of Elohim. You don't know. It's something you can't see. But the best way I explain it is like a seed. You'll plant it, and then it'll grow up, but you don't see what happens in between that."
Yeah, and it is amazing, the cycle of life, and as we attempt to be farmers here down in South America, that is very true. You have no idea what happens with the seed. Sometimes the seeds do nothing. Sometimes you plant them too deep and they can't ever make it up. Sometimes they're too less and they can't root real well. But we have no idea, other than when you have a seed in your hand, nothing ever happens to it. But then you put it in dirt. If you don't put water on it, nothing happens to it. Then if you add water inside of the dirt and you keep it watered, it comes to life. It's a lot like human conception, right? It's the craziest thing. Somehow the seed comes to life. It's just crazy. And yeah, none of us know this stuff. But Messiah's point of this is that we don't know what the rule of Elohim is supposed to be like. And he even explained it to us in these days and age. We don't know. We're unsure. All we can hope for is what we have read, and what we've read is not a tremendous amount compared to what the reign of Elohim is going to be like. Okay, 28. "Know that though I am here with you, I am not apart from he who inspires me. That which is in me is not separate from the Ruach of the Father, and that Ruach is wholly in me. I express the likeness of the Father and contain his power and substance to the full measure. I am the Ruach outflowing from Yahuwah, given voice and form. I am the voice and word of that Ruach. I am of that Ruach, but not that Ruach." All right.
He says he's from that Ruach, but he's not the Ruach.
Yeah.
He basically says the Ruach in him. He's not the Ruach.
This is a Trinity breaker right here. This is a complete Trinity breaker. For those who still believe that the Father and the Son are the same individual, that is out of the books of Satan, right? That is who Satan would use to confuse everybody. But it is very clear from the beginning of Scriptures to the end who our Messiah is and who the son of Elohim is. And Elohim is not the Son. Elohim is Elohim, Most High. Okay, 29. "I am the fulfillment of men's hopes and the fulfillment of the Father's desire. As I am so is the Ruach. As I am, so shall all his children be. For I am the pattern for all men. I am emptied of worldliness in order to hold the Ruach HaKodesh, and I am an answer to the Father's creative word." Okay.
So here we have, it says, basically all men will be like him in the coming time, that we are empty of all worldliness and we will have the Ruach.
And then what he says here, he says he is a pattern. Do you guys know what a pattern is?
Yeah.
What is a pattern?
That's something that kind of repeats.
Yeah, and a pattern repeats. Also, if you have a pattern, if you are in the sewing world and you have a pattern, you will end up with a dress. A dress has a pattern, and you will put the pattern out, and you will put the dress on it, and you will cut it out to that pattern, and you will work in that nature. And so as our dogs are trying to behave or misbehave, we will continue on. Okay, 30. A pitcher half filled with water would hold less oil than an empty one. If wine is poured into a jar containing water, the wine is diluted. So when men say, what purpose does it serve to forego worldly pleasures? Tell these things to them. If they will not listen, then on their own heads be the illnesses and pains for which they will surely suffer. Okay, well, what do we make of this right here?
If you don't listen to the words that are coming, right? If you don't listen to the people that are telling you that the Torah is the truth and that you are not, or if not, you will be kicked out of the kingdom. It says you will suffer your own. It's on your head. Your own illness is on your own head.
Yeah, and living in the world is looking like the world, smelling like the world, tasting like the world. And when we hang too close in the world, we become like the world. It's just how it is. If, for instance, you decide you're going to take your kids and send them to a government indoctrination camp, which is what you would call public education, you are handing them over to the world. It doesn't matter how many days they go. All they need is one day in a public education with all those kids, and your kids are going to be something that you've never, ever taught. They're going to learn stuff that they've that you don't want them to know. And that was, we had a couple of years. How long did you guys go to public school? It wasn't even public school. It was a private Christian school. 3 years. And you guys learned more trash from that Christian school about worldly stuff that I had to. I mean, you guys learned about homosexuality. You guys learned about just vileness, just extreme sickness of stuff that I had to explain stuff to you. And so, yeah, I subjected you guys to the world. And after that, Eli was the only one that we subjected only 1 year. He had 2 years, but it was like preschool. And so we didn't indoctrinate him that much. And so, yeah, don't hand your kids over to them. And, you know, if you live like the world and you want to be like the world, then you're going to exactly look like it. Okay, 31. The 12 said, great is the hope you have given us, and great is the inspiration of your words. Yahushua said, I do not do this of myself, for I have been filled with the power of the Ruach HaKodesh, which is part of Yahuwah. With this he created all things. I come that I may bring light to those who dwell in darkness, and bring to those who are on the brink of death a knowledge of life, and to bring consolation to those who suffer. I am the hope of those who despair, and the helper of those who have no guide, the treasure of the poor, and the healer of the sick. I am the light of eternal life for all who die. And as I am, so must you be. Wow. Okay. This is, a lot of people don't think these scriptures are like doctrine. And people will say, well, that's not doctrine, it's not doctrine. These are just extra. This is exactly the same kind of stuff that Messiah was talking about. Nothing about what you're reading here is different than what Messiah says at all. Nothing. He is the light of the world. He is something that's very interesting is when we talk about the Ruach HaKodesh, we've always wondered a little bit about it, right? That we know that we're not to blaspheme it. We know that it is this like a supernatural spiritual overtaking that you can be overtaken with the Ruach HaKodesh, and that it is by the Ruach HaKodesh that we understand things. But, what is it exactly? And we've always, speculated on it. But Messiah says right here that it is a part of Yahuwah, right? The Ruach HaKodesh. If you are endowed with it, then you are being endowed with the spirit of the Most High Elohim. And so that is why there's amazing power in it. And, that's one of those things that if you blaspheme the Ruach HaKodesh, you're blaspheming the essence of our Creator. It's literally our Creator in a form that we don't understand, but you're basically attacking Him, which is why we don't want to attack the Ruach HaKodesh. Okay, 33. Go, carry the good tidings without trepidation or fear, without respect for persons, calling all who listen to follow a path which is direct, narrow, and stern. Call them, whatever their circumstances, for each one will have something to contribute. Now, do you guys believe that the Christian religion is direct, narrow, and stern?
No, that the free lifestyle you do what you want is very slack.
Yeah, it would be opposite of that. It's not direct, it's indirect. It's broad, and it's not stern, right? That is the exact opposite of religions of today. You can do what you want, you can worship when you want, you can eat what you want, you're free because you have none of those pesky laws. You don't have to do any of that, right? That is not what direct, narrow, and stern is. And if you want direct, narrow, and stern, it is about contributing to the kingdom, and that is by keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of our Creator, every single one of them. Not to go to the left, not to go to the right, not to slack in your duties of keeping the Torah, and we don't want to do that. That's wrong. Okay, 34. Then Yochanan said, Master, you have taught us many things and armed our wits. You have taught us how to act towards those who believe in your cause and those who do not. Yet even among those who most consciously follow your way, even those who should be brothers, is found jealousy, pettiness, envy, and selfishness. Wow. So he might be scribing like all these people that are out there, but this sounds like it's pretty much all of us, right? Even as our little tribe here, even as our little brotherhood here, right? We fight over things that you would call petty, right? It's just petty, right? Oh, we like to fight over pettiness, envy, and selfishness, jealousy. These are all things that it doesn't seem like we're the only ones that have this problem. It seems like the entire world has this. But as far as brotherhood here, I would say that we should probably not be that. 35. Yahushua said, these things are the challenge of life and inseparable. Okay, so hold on. I want to go back up there because he's saying that these are the challenges of life. Jealousy, pettiness, envy, and selfishness. Messiah says, these things are the challenge of life and inseparable from the present rule of man. The test is your ability to change them. What are we changing, guys? We're changing jealousy, pettiness, envy, and selfishness. That is what Messiah says, is our ability to change them. The corn will be gathered into the storehouse of the Ruach, and the chaff cast into the fires of transmutation. Yahushua taught these things to the 12 in a manner different from his other teachings. There were many other things which may be told, but not all were heard with understanding. Kepha said, let us partake of your strength, so we can withstand whatever is sent to test us. Yahushua said, when the test comes, it is never as expected. Oh, man, that is so right? I mean, every time that we get tested, I mean, we can know that because we have 10 pit bulls that in the next 4 to 5 years, our testing is going to be so fierce because we're going to lose 10 of our best friends, right? We know that the testing is going to come, but even knowing that's how the dogs are going to end and our lives in the next 5 years are going to be suffering immensely, we won't know how we're going to be tested. We won't know if we lose them tomorrow. We might lose them all tomorrow, right? It may not be 5 years from now. We don't know when the test comes. And so we have to understand the Messiah himself says that testing, and the testing is coming from his dad, it's not as expected, right? And so we have to expect the unexpected. And you have to expect the unexpected, especially when it comes to testing. Instead of cursing our Creator when horrible things are happening to you, we have to understand that this is part of the kingdom road, that we will all be tested. And if we are not tested, then we're not fit for the kingdom. 40. Then while they were gathered about him, Yahushua said, now who do you think I am? Shimon Kepha answered, you are surely Yahuwah's anointed. Yahushua said, you are rather rash, but as no mortal disclosure was made to you, wise also. Since your name means a rock, and you live up to it, I will establish foundations for the city of my cause upon you, and neither death nor evil will overshadow it. To you I give the keys of this city, and the kingdom to which is the gateway shall welcome you as a prince. Any thoughts on this? We've heard some of this before.
Yeah, but he's like he said Kepha was rash. We knew he was that. Probably the one that reached out and cut the dude's ear off. Yeah.
We know that Kepha is that dude. We've heard this before, and but the Christians have actually corrupted this, and this is how they decided to build all their churches. And it says, we will build all these upon the rock or something, or something of the nature. And the Christians have run off with that, and they believe that that's what they're supposed to do is go make all these 501c3 churches, and lead everyone astray. 42. Inasmuch as I am the way, the truth, and the light, I bring you salvation from ignorance. I am the Savior of all who wander in darkness, but who, seeing my light, follow my lead. One of the 12 said, Master, you are truly our salvation, our hope, and our life. Yahushua said, many will flock to my cause, but few will be chosen to serve. Many will follow my way, but turn aside at the obstacles. For if any man believes but fails to put his belief into practice, it will be profitless to him. If anyone take one part of my teachings, shunning the sterner and more inconvenient, the rest will serve no purpose. For it is in the nature of men to accept the easy path and turn aside from the harder one. But there is something in each which tells him this is wrong. Everyone has a spark within, which fanned by the wind of dedication will kindle the flame of glory. You know, I don't want to browbeat the Christians, but this is the Christians and washing the Messiah, making all foods cling. This is what it is, right? If any man believes but fails to put his belief into practice, it will be pointless to him. And if anyone take my teachings, shunning the sterner and more inconvenient, the rest will serve no purpose, right? It's very inconvenient to know that all food is not made clean. It's very inconvenient to have to get rid of that bacon in your fridge and all of that pork and all of the nasty swine that you have, right? You just paid for it and all food has been made clean and everybody else eats it, so you should too, right? Oh yeah, it's the great white meat. The North America did a commercials for 15 years about the great white meat, about how cheap it was, and it's just the pig farmers. And you know, that's a sickness, right? It is a complete sickness. And so if you're sitting there chewing on your bacon, you're taking the easy road, and that road is with no purpose, and you're going to fall off of that because we're called for obedience. We are not called to be rebels. One of the 12 said, "Shall we confine our mission to the Yahudim?" Yahushua replied, "Enlightenment is the inheritance of all men. Carry the message to all the 70 nations of the earth." Another asked, "Should we take it to the young and to the old as well? For the thoughts of the young change with every wind, while the old are like seasoned timber, into which it is difficult to drive a nail."
That's true.
That is true, huh? Right? Do you guys have anything when it?
We've tried. There's some older Christians, they're 80 years old. They've done Christianity since they were 10 years old, and they don't want to change the way you tell them. Like, I've done this my entire life. This is how it's going to be. And they're getting close to sick. They don't want to change.
Dr. Fred, our old buddy there, he's 150,000 years old. I don't know how old he is, but Eli and I went to talk to him. And he is sitting there. He's the good Christian. And how old is this guy? 80?
90s.
90s.
I think he's like 80.
90. Well, he's really old, and he will tell you how to be saved. And he's been a Christian all his life. We tell him about the laws, statutes, and commandments. What do you tell us about those, Eli?
He kind of just dodges the question. Like, I ask him what he thinks about him. He's usually dodges the question, starts talking about something else.
Yep.
Kind of to that degree.
Right. And Jade is going to take our doggies out because they're getting a little wound up. Look, everyone, go outside. Outside. Hold on, everybody. Sorry. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. That is 10 dogs that just got a little wild for some reason. That's how it rolls. That's actually really normal in this house. So let's continue on.
47.
Yahushua said, "Teach each man according to his understanding and capacity." Yahushua then said, "Always treat those you meet as you would have them treat you. Act towards others as you would have them act towards you. For this is the essence of the Torah." Yeah, this is right, guys?
Yep.
I mean, this is, we need to
The golden rule.
Yeah, the golden rule, right. Yeah, do unto others as...
You have them do unto you.
Yep. Okay, 49. When Yahushua had given these instructions to the apostles, they left. And Yahushua went with 4 disciples to carry the message to other towns.
So that's probably Peter, John, James, and Zabadi, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. All right, boys, what do you guys make of this?
Really good book, really good learnings, really good writing from Yahushua. He's got really great things to say in this book. Things that we didn't get here. We heard more of his holy side, I guess. More of his his heaven side, I guess, and then his human side. We hear more of like teach your own capacity, right? We never heard those kind of things. Like don't sit there and force people into you can't do it. You can't push them away. You gotta teach them to their capacity.
Yeah.
That's stuff
Yeah,
we've never
absolutely.
heard before.
Yeah, absolutely. So scripture or not, gentlemen?
I would
think
say
scripture.
Yes.
If you were to build your own scriptures, would you include this book in scriptures?
Yes.
Where would you include it at?
Probably right after John.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, John.
I was thinking maybe.
Khalid, whatever this book is called. I think it's like the book of Khalid.
Maybe.
I think right after that. Then maybe
Somewhere within the Gospels.
Have you guys found anything here that gives you red flags that this is not ordained by our Creator?
No.
Nothing.
I don't think I've seen anything.
What would we need to see? You know,
Uh,
we are the Yahoo and the Torah channel, right? If anybody, you know, this is the place that if you want to see what's in the Torah, this is it, right? Every Shabbat we will read the Torah to you. We will tell you what's in the Torah, you know, because most people don't want to read that. But what do you guys? Is this doctrine? Is this where we need to be?
I would say it is doctrine. It's definitely contradicting the Torah. It's actually enforcing the Torah. It's teaching more of parts of the Torah, parts of like, excuse me, how Yahushua would live by the Torah, what his like life goals, when he explains the Torah, like do unto others, you do unto them. That is the essence of the Torah. That's what the Torah is built upon. He's not saying the Torah is gone. He's not contradicting anything. He's enforcing it.
Does this book, do these writings make you guys want to meet Messiah more, or I mean, does this bring you towards him? This book,
Yes.
why?
Because it shows us more of what we need to do and how we need to act.
He's not like a robot, right? That's just there to die for us. He's an actual human. He's an actual person that came with feeling, that came with a heart, that came with a soul, that came with real human thoughts. The same challenges that we had to
emotions.
deal with. Even though he got more powerful, more spiritual powers than when he was older, he was still a human. He still had to deal with like the things of not overusing his powers or not like abusing the powers he had. He had to deal with everything as a human would have to deal with it.
Yep. All right, everybody. Thank you guys very, very much. We hope that you guys have a wonderful day. We hope that you're not participating in man-made 501c3 Sunday keeping church, and we hope that you guys are blessed. Much love to you.
All right, shalom.